Mike Owens here, and today I'm joined by Saidyokub Kakhramonov, undefeated UFC Bantamweight, who's just coming off one of the biggest wins of his career. Saidyokub, great to sit down and chat. How are things with you today?
What's up, mate? Thanks for having me here. I appreciate you a lot.
Perfect. First and foremost, I did want to talk about something you posted on your Instagram yesterday, because by the sounds of it, you are leaving MMA and becoming a professional golfer instead. Is that true?
Yes, sir, man. I like golf better now. I mean, I played the other day. The first time it looks like I have a talent, and then golf is better than MMA, I think, and I think I'm gonna try to pursue my career in golf. I mean, for now, MMA, I'm gonna just take my time and rest from it.
Of course.
Because the full game is a bunch of pussies that nobody wants to fight, and then a lot of bullshit going on, so I don't give a fuck about that. So I'm gonna just play golf.
So I've got to ask about this because in other interviews you've talked about people declining to fight you. How many names do you think, or can you tell me, have declined to fight with you?
Bro, I don't even know. There's good solid 6, 7 of them.
Notable names or UFC
Multiple
debutants?
names. UFC guys, multiple UFC guys. Multiple of them, they say I'm a bad matchup. They say that, they say this, man. I'm just tired of waiting on these guys, and then I don't do that. I don't wait for shit. I just do what I gotta do, and then just move on. For some people, it's a dream come true. It is for me too. It is a dream for me, but sometimes you gotta let go of your dream and pursue better things in life because I'm still 26. I can do a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I can do anything I want in this life.
Look, you're a very talented fighter and you've shown that in your time in the cage, but these guys who are declining to fight you are also very talented fighters. So why do you think they are going to decline the fight with you, in your opinion?
Because thing is, they decline to fight me once. You know what I mean? It's like once they see what I can do in there, they're like, shit, this motherfucker don't get tired. He's keep coming. How the fuck am I gonna deal with him? When they see me at first at weigh-ins, they get this false confidence. But once we're in the cage, they realize I'm way bigger than most of these guys. Because most of these guys are 5'4", 5'3", 5'5" on a good day. I'm 5'8" on a bad day. I'm lanky, and I'm strong, I think. I mean, I have good strength. And then I don't get tired, and I'm not scared of nobody, It's just a lot of things goes into it, and then I mean most of these fighters are fake. They do this shit for Instagram. They think it's cool to be called, oh, I'm a UFC fighter. Like, oh, I got this blue check. You know what I mean? I'm cool. I'm that. You know what I mean? It just became at this point, this fighting became a joke. I think it's not a real fight. The real fight is just rare breeds, these days. So yeah, here you go, man. That's your answer.
You're coming off the win a couple of months ago against Ronnie Lawrence. Now you've had a little bit of time since that fight. Looking back, how happy are you with your performance in your last fight?
The thing is, I'm never happy. Like it's never the things like this don't like really make me happy. Like the performance. Like all right, yeah, we got the win because it was expected. Like I didn't expect anything less. You know what I mean? And then it was just only I could have. They talk about, oh, he's a wrestling that and this. Only reason I did this, I mean, watch my pro debut, the first one at UFC. I was not trying to wrestle. I was trying to strike. And then that striking was, I think it was a beautiful performance. I was maintaining the distance with the wall, throwing kicks and punches at the same time without a training. You know what I mean? Hanging out, pawing every day, smoking. And then 6-day notice, took a flight and still fought 15 minutes with no training. You know what I'm saying? Most of these guys train the full camp. They get tired after one round. I was tired too, but fight is a fight. And then with Larry Lawrence, it just makes me sick when they think he was a good grappler, man. I was like, man, what are you guys talking about? Like, you know what I mean? What are you guys talking about? Like, what wrestling? This guy got no wrestling. I'll show you guys how to wrestle, and that's what I did. I could have easily knocked him out, but let me just show these guys that he's not a good wrestler. Let me just make these guys look bad. They signed him based on his wrestling skills, Contender Series. I don't know if you did your homework or you watched it, what they talked about him. Oh, even Dana said, like, this guy is a great pressure, great wrestling. Yeah, we're gonna sign him. And then he wins 2 fights of wrestling. And every time he won a fight, it used to make me sick. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it just makes me sick when I see these low level competition guys get so much attention, and then somebody like me comes in here, bullies him, and then I look like a bully, and then just fight. It's just a fight game, you know what I mean? Other than that, I don't have any financial problem with like other fighters that I don't cry about it. Oh, UFC don't pay me enough. That I don't care about the money. Like, you know what I'm saying? I make money. I make money. I've been making money since I've been 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have none of that problems that these fighters have. You know?
Yeah. Do you enjoy beating fighters, beating opponents at their own game? And what I mean by that is, do you enjoy out wrestling the wrestlers and out striking the strikers and out grappling the grapplers? Is that something that you enjoy?
Of course, I enjoy every minute of them. I just want to make him go home and then everything about their life. Just go home and just cry like they, you know what I mean? Like they thought they were a good grappler or striker, and then after they fight me, they realize they ain't shit, and then they end up retiring. You know what I mean? That's my goal, man. I want to just retire these guys because this game is not a cool game. You know, this is not something like you don't do this because it looks cool on the paper. It looks cool on the fight week where you take pictures, do interviews. Like, you know what I'm saying? It looks all cool, but until you run into someone like me, that's what your life ends right there. Your career ends, everything ends after you fight me. Doesn't matter who you are. Even people still talk about, everybody still talks about how I fought Umar 4 years ago.
Mm.
I'm like, all right, that was only me 1 year into my MMA career, coming off straight from the streets. You know what I mean? I had no training before that. I trained only 1 year MMA. Even I have a proof. You can go on Topology, check my first amateur fight, the dates, and then check when I fought Umar. Like, it was just me straight up coming from fighting skills of streets, not having any technique, blah blah. But when I fought him, I had no respect for that guy. I still don't respect him. I don't care about him. When people fight him, they lose before they fight him.
Mm.
They respect him so much. They already lose before the fight. Look at his last 3 fights. They already lost before the fight. And look at my fight. I did not respect that guy. I was pushing the whole time. I was going to punch him in the face. But what he did after he got hit a couple times, all right, let me wrestle because I'm getting clipped on the standing up. I mean, watch the fight. He got clipped the first round. And I clipped him again in the third round, dropped him. And that's only 1 year into my MMA career, brother. Only 1 year, you know what I'm saying? So I just think, man, I'm mentally different than everybody. My mental is way different because the way I grew up, man, these guys have no idea what I went through in life, what I saw, how I grew up. A lot of people can say that, oh, I grew up in the hood. I did this, I did that. I mean, my dad was a crackhead. My mom was a crackhead. It was a hard time for me. But imagine holding the fucking stool over your head for hours. All right? Just because you don't do your homework. Imagine doing sit-ups for hours with the fucking brick on your neck. You're only 6, 7 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not the same, man. These guys are just soft to me. Like, and I'm not gonna just sit here and then beg for a fight with these idiots. So I don't care. I like to do what I want to do, and I'm gonna just like keep moving on. If they give me a fight, all right, we'll get ready for a fight, and then I'll make my comeback. Until then, I like golf, man. It's peaceful. It's nice. You just go out there, just like, just you and nice weather, and this breeze is hitting your face. You hit this ball, ding, that sound is nice. So I like it.
Look, the phrase anytime, any place, anywhere is kind of bandied around in the fight game quite a lot. A lot of fighters say they'll fight anyone, and then, as you're talking about here, maybe don't accept the fight. You've proved in your UFC debut that you are anytime, any place, and literally anywhere, traveling across the globe for your UFC debut. Can you kind of just walk me through what that experience was like, making your debut in those circumstances, your UFC debut in those circumstances?
Well, I won my CFFC championship belt in America.
Mm.
You know, I won it. Even I feel like, I don't know, every time it comes to me, every time I fight, I'm always like looked down. You know,
Mm.
they just don't talk about me, or they think I don't speak English or something. You know, I don't know, because of my name.
Mm.
It's just like it was just never about me. And then so I beat this dude easily, knocked his ass out in the second round. Because first round I knocked him down and he was holding me like, you know, his life. And then second round I just finished him. And then they gave me this belt. I said, I don't give a fuck about this belt. You know, I pretty much told them, fuck your belt. You know what I'm saying? You guys are disrespectful as fuck. Because, you know, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. So in Brooklyn, a lot of people are straightforward. Like, we don't care. Just straightforward. That's how I grew up, you know? And then after that, a lot of people didn't like that. And then I was like, man, screw you guys. I'm gonna go back home and just enjoy my family, friends, just chill, you know. Because every time I go home, man, you know, I'm living life out there, you know, it's like a king, and why not? And I was just there chilling, partying, the weddings, birthdays, you know, everywhere, you know. They called me on Monday morning, and it's I think it's when it's Monday there. I think it's Sunday night in States.
Mm.
They call me Monday morning. They're like, "Yo, you gotta get to States as soon as possible." I'm like, "Bet." And then those days there was like COVID stuff. You have to get CPR,
Mm.
all that shit. Obviously, I faked my CPR. That's what everybody do. They get fake papers. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new about it. I did that. Boom, paid the guy like $5. He gave me a CPR. I bought a ticket for almost $3,000. Like I said, I have no financial problems.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I can buy a ticket if I want for $3,000.
Mm.
I bought that. Fucking flew to Moscow from one airport. I had to switch to another airport. Basically, this fucking plane gets to Moscow late as fuck. I'm I basically I get out from the airport, and then I take a taxi to go to another airport, which is 2 hours away, and ETA is at 1 p.m. And then my plane is leaving at 1 p.m. I looked at the driver. I said, "You better take the shoulder and then speed it up. If we don't get there at least 30 minutes before, I think me and you fighting in this car, because I'm still gonna fight, because you know what I'm saying." He looked at me. He was some Dagestani dude too. And then, all right, we got there somehow. He got probably a bunch of tickets, but I sent the money when I came to States. I sent him like $500 so he can pay off his tickets. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna, you know, give him problems. And then we get there 30 minutes before. I'm trying to check in. They're like, "Oh, you're late. You can't check your bag in no more. It's closed." Blah blah. I'm like, I looked at it. I was like, I don't give a fuck about this bag. I said, leave the bag there. Just give me my fucking tickets. I'm gonna run. They're like, what? No, you're not gonna do that. I was like, yes, I will. And then I started like making a scene in Moscow. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's looking at me. I'm like, give me my fucking ticket. They're like, just give me the ticket. The managers came. They gave me the ticket. I fucking ran. I think I ran like almost a mile in this big ass airport in Moscow, right? Airport is so big. I had to run. I think I lost like 4 pounds in there. Barefooted, because you know how you gotta check in, take your shoes off.
Yeah.
So I had no time to put it back on. I was just grabbing, running. That's how much I sacrificed so I can fucking make it to this UFC. Like, you know, basically, I made it to the plane. I made it on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. in Vegas. I was in my hotel around 10 p.m. and I was 148 pounds. And then we walked on the weight cut. I did that, I had to do the medicals, all kind of bullshit. I did all that, cut weight. I had just not enough time. I missed like 2 pounds. But 2 pounds, what is 2 pounds? If you convert into kilos, it's only like 80 grams or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not a big of a difference. Doesn't change anything in the fight. I smashed this dude in the third round. You know what I'm saying? And then he's mad because I missed weight. I'm like, imagine what would I do to you if I was in full camp? You just don't understand that. You know?
Did the
That's how
UFC, did the UFC offer you any weight allowance? Did the UFC say let's do the fight at 140, or was there anything, any suggestion of
brother,
giving you
I
some
don't
range?
get to call no. I don't get to call no shots.
Yeah,
They
of
tell
course.
me this is. If I tell them something else, they will not even get back to me because
Yeah,
they're gonna go somewhere else.
yeah, of course, of course. You mentioned there about your return to your homeland of Uzbekistan. Now, with the greatest of respect, I don't know anyone. I'm from England, and I don't know any single person, friends or family, who've ever been to Uzbekistan. So could you kind of fill me in on the country and kind of what are your favorite things when you get to go back home to your home country?
You know, me as a local, every time I go, the best thing is about, of course, it's the food. The food is amazing. If you like to eat like this heavy stuff, like you know what I'm saying, the stuff like kebabs, like stuff with doughs and meat inside, like it just the food is like amazing, like you know what I'm saying. And then we have this culture, the pretty old culture. Like we have buildings that same age as those Rome Colosseum, whatever that is, you know, same age as those, like almost 3,000 years old, still in amazing shape. You go inside, they it's fucking gold, like you know what I'm saying. They built that place out of gold, like you know what I mean. We have so much money. The culture is amazing. We love the guests. When the guest comes to our house, it's more important than our father. Like you know what I'm saying. If you come to my house, you're my guest. You respect it more than my father. Like you know what I'm saying.
Mm.
This is how we treat our guests, and then that's what we're mostly known for, being a good host. You know what I mean? And we're not known for being a good fighter. Let me tell you that. So other than
How I tried to check the records. I could only find you and two other Uzbekistani fighters in the UFC. It's Mahmoud Muradov, and I believe there's a female UFC fighter, but I couldn't recall the name. What is the fighting culture like in Uzbekistan? Is it thriving or is it still developing?
it's still young. It's people are still getting better. It's still like so much shit going on out there. People just still trying to figure out what is this, like you know what I mean. But it's still a new sport. You know, we're getting better. We have lots of talented guys. You know what I mean? Lots of talented guys, but not enough guidance. You know what I mean? There's nobody to show them the way. Nobody like because they don't understand the sport. They've never been in the big stages, like you know. And there's guys like me and Mahmoud Muradov, like you said. Even that guy, he was in Europe all his life. You know what I'm saying? That's why he made it to the UFC because he was in Europe, and now he's back at home, trying to be that person. He's trying to like guide these young kids, like you know. And then he's doing a lot of good things out there. That's what I'm trying to do too. You know, I'm trying to help this guy out, but at the same time, it's just like you know, I'm like a smaller weight. So Mahmoud is a big guy. So what you they don't really mess around with the big guy because they know he's big. So they like to mess with me, like you know, here and there. Even that every time I fight, the Uzbekistani media only like 3 or 4 bloggers they post about me, but the rest of them is quiet. I don't know why. Is it because I look better than these guys, or I don't know what's the problem is, but it's just too much politics. Maybe it's a race thing, or I don't know, man. At the end of the day, man, my life is. I mean, thank God. Like you know what I mean. I thank God every day I made it this far. I lived a good life. I wake up every morning. I thank God, like you know what I'm saying, because I get to buy Starbucks every morning for like $5, $6. Like you know what I'm saying. Not everybody can do that, and I'm just blessed to live this life. You know what I'm saying. UFC is just one thing in my life, and then I know I can do so much. You know what I mean? This is just like I can do so much more in life. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to UFC, it's just one thing in like one out of like million or thousands. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the biggest thing that I want to do. Like you know what I'm saying? It's not like oh shit, that's the only thing. That's it. This is who I am all my life. No,
How
I'm bigger than that.
Of course. How does it feel to represent your country though? Because as you mentioned, there's only a handful of Uzbekistan fighters in the UFC now. So how does it feel for you to represent your country and to walk to the octagon with your flag?
You know, to me, I love it, man. That's all. That was the whole plan. Like I looked at it before the UFC I started. I was like, man, why there's nobody from our country in the UFC? What's wrong with us? let me try to be the first one. By the time I get there, Mahmoud Muradov was already in the UFC. I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep trying. Maybe I can be the second one or third one. By the time I made, there was 3 of them, and then 2 of them already left the UFC, and then I made it, and then I'm the pretty much, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm the one that can actually get to the belt, because you look at 185 pounds, man. I don't really see Mahmoud going far in the division. Not anything with him, because he's doing so much time in his business. And it's just like you can't do that and then fight at the same time. You know, you gotta focus. So like you gotta focus on this game, just on this game. You know what I mean? You cannot do other things and then expect to go out there and win. You know what I mean? Because every time you go back home, you know, they like you in the UFC. This guy pulls you this way. This guy takes you this way. This guy calls you for dinner, lunch, breakfast. If you don't go, they're mad. They feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. That's why I like to stay here, do my thing, and just enjoy life, man, you know?
Well, look, I know you're a very busy man, so I'll leave you with one final question. We're at the end of August 2022 now. What are your goals for the next 12-month period? What do you want to accomplish by the end of August 2023?
Just fight one more, man. Just get one more fight at least. I mean, doesn't matter who it is, man. Just one more fight, as long as they don't play me saying that, oh, 6 days, 4 days again. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as they give me a fight at least 4 or 5 weeks notice, so I can get my mind right, you know, that's my goal, man. They just fight and just keep doing what I'm doing and play golf and, you know, and then fight and just enjoy life, man. You know, it's a beautiful time to be alive, man.
100%. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was truly a pleasure to get some of your time, and I wish you the best of luck in not only your MMA endeavors but also in your golfing career as well.
Thank you, my brother. I'll be the first Uzbek playing golf at Masters.
Before we finish, how can people find you on social media, and anything you'd like to say or sign off with? The floor is yours for the final word.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me here, man. You can find me on Instagram. It's Saidyokub 135. You won't miss it. Twitter, same thing. So yeah, man. Thanks for watching me and, you know, following me, and then we're gonna go far, man. I'm telling you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.